Hello dear CMA aspirants from South India. As you all already know, Akash Agarwal Classes has launched for you all 100% English lectures in English for CMA Foundation students giving their examination in December 2025 and onwards. So here I am going to tell you how do you enroll in the batch. You just have to join our WhatsApp community which is given in the link. Fill up the Google form again given in the link and to download our mobile application Akash Agarwal Classes to access the notes. You all know the lectures which we are going to conduct will be 100% covered. There would be no subject which we are not taking care of. So we are going to take care of each and every subject, each and every concept. We are going to take MCQs for you. We are going to provide test papers. We are going to take live mentee sessions as well. Lectures which we are going to take for you all are 100% recorded lectures and not dubbed lectures. And you all know we have exclusive team ready for you all to teach you for your CMA Foundation December 2025 attempt for subject wise as well. And we are uploading the lectures on a weekly basis. All the important links which will be useful to you all are uploaded in the description box. Since we have many students who have cleared CMA examination at all the levels from Akash Agarwal Classes, and to reciprocate the love which we have received from South Indian students, we are here for you all taking lectures 100% in English, so that we can clear your CMA Foundation December 25 attempt together. So keep studying, do watch all the lectures till the end, and do show some love by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and putting up a word in the comment box. Keep studying. Bye-bye. Hello to all my dear CMA Foundation students here. Yes, welcome back to Akash Agarwal Classes, and from this session we are going to start with your very important again micro part of economics. Prior I have already recorded and uploaded for you all the part of macro, in which I have divided it into 4 chapters, right? You must have already seen the introduction lecture as well. And now later on from this series, from this session I'm going to start with your micro part, in which we are going to see again 4 different chapters, right, which is, you can say, compared to macro questions, micro questions are comparatively slightly easier, because here it was completely informative part, but here obviously there's some logic behind it, that how it has happened or what is the reason behind happening all the things, right? So yes, let's start the 4 chapters which we are going to talk. Is the very first is your introduction of economics, which we are going to start from the session. Next will be your theory of demand and supply. Next will be your theory of production and cost. And your last chapter, which is very important, like your business environment, which is there in your macro part, will be your market chapter. So these are your 4 chapters. Make sure you write this down, note this down. And yes, let's start with the very first introduction of economics, and let's see what do you mean by economics. So economics, if I say, what I say is nothing but it is all about your household management. Like, see, you can see, like, going from a very basic, you can see your mom at home. What does your mom do? She especially price that she manages everything, all the cost. If I talk only and only about your cost thing, the budget thing, if I talk about, she makes sure that she completely manages everything, right? If she gets to know that your some cost has been, saved, obviously, so she will directly invest this in something else, right? So this is all about managing the cost and managing the things, right? Next, if I talk about economics is all about choice making, which we are going to see later on. It is about choice making. Choice making is done every single moment, every single time. It may be your personal life or it may be your professional life. Economics is all about choice making, where you are having many wants. You have many wants. You have n number of wants. Like, for example, you have your Sunday, and on Sunday you have decided
either of the ways you don't get time. Obviously your classes must be there, your colleges must be there, your revisions and everything must be there. So Sunday is a fun day. So what you decide on Sunday is that you will sleep that day. You will make sure that you will clean your everything, all the things which was it was completely all the stuffs. You'll clean all the stuffs. On that day you'll meet your friend. On that day you'll go out with your friend to any hotel or something, or for dinner or something like that. So on that day you are having many more wants or many more things to do, but it will be possible only after when you have enough resources to fulfill all the things, right? So what I want to conclude over here is that your wants are unlimited. You have n number of wants, and especially if I say wants are completely recurring, one want is done, the second want keeps again generated, again the third, again the fourth, again the fifth. So over here, as per your resources, as you already know, like for example, I'll take resources as money, like for example, I take resources as time. You want to do everything, but you don't have time to do, so you won't be able to fulfill your want which you have decided, right? So the resources are limited, they are completely scarce. Having alternative uses, right? In other words, you can say that your wants is also called as ends, and your resources are also called as means. I'll show you one example that how it is asked in your question paper. Just a second. This is your December 2025. Just a second. No. This is your December 2024 paper, and see what they have written over here. According to economics, the question is very simple. This chapter is basically for, you can say, 2 to 4 marks. This chapter particularly is for 2 to 4 marks. You can expect 1 to 2 questions from this particular chapter. Like for example, we'll be reading this out and I'll be letting you, we'll be coming back to this question later on. But now here is the question. According to economics, means are what? Until and unless you don't know what do you mean by means, how can you give the answer of this question? So here the means is nothing but means is talking about resources, right? So your resources are limited. Right? So you should know the other terms as well. So your wants is called as ends and your resources are called as means. Right? So yes, the wants are unlimited and the resources are limited, scarce, having alternative uses. So is it that you won't be able to fulfill your any of the wants? No, you will be able to fulfill your wants, but as per your maximum satisfaction. Over here, you will make a choice of such wants which will give you maximum satisfaction. You will go with such wants which will give you maximum satisfaction, right? I hope it is clear. And this problem is called as problem of choice making. Make sure you note this down, everything, because a small question can be asked as well. I've shown you the example also. So this problem is called as problem of choice making, right? This problem is called as problem of choice making. And yes, this problem is of not only an individual, but this problem is of every individual. This problem is of every society, and this problem is of every country. So basically I can say in short, this problem is of complete economy. This problem is of complete economy. I hope it is clear to you all. And this is a small basic introduction of all about economics, where you are completely into choice making. Every step, every single moment, every single time you have to do what? You have to do choice making. May it be your clothes in the morning when you go for your college, may it be your watches, may it be your timetable, may it be everything. What many students do as per their choice, it is just an example. What many students do is that theory subject they study in the morning, and the practical subject they study in the night. It is also choice, right? When you go to a supermarket, there also you go with a choice. If you see that your price is the price of the product is less, obviously over there and then you decide that yeah, you want to go for that product because the price is less, right? Exactly. So this is all about economics. So it is nothing but managing, completely all about household. And if I tell about economics, economics is nothing but it is called as a social science. What do you mean by social science? Social science is again nothing but it is talking about human behavior. It is talking about human behavior. Now, it is talking about what? It is talking about human behavior, which is completely what? Unpredictable. It is completely unpredictable. You cannot predict the human behavior. I say about your choice making. Choice making is again all about your behavior only, na? You decide what is supposed to be done, you decide what is supposed to be chosen and everything. So it is all about human behavior only. So economics is nothing but it is social science, and it is not a natural science. Basically, natural science is nothing but a science which we have learned till 10th standard. Your physics, chemistry, biology and everything, which is all about your fact based, right? And also it was tested in lab. Also, which is called as exact science because it is talking about fact based. But if I tell about your human behavior, that is your social science, which is completely unpredictable and it is not dependent on facts. Not dependent on facts, right? And it is also called as, see, I've written this for you people. Make sure that you complete it. Make sure that you understand it, because this will very help you in your solving your MCQs, your basic MCQs. As I told you, this can come for 1 to 2 questions, that is 2 to 4 marks. So this chapter is very important, and trust me, you won't get this chapter so simplified way anywhere, right? So I've simplified this chapter very much, and yes, I'm hoping that you will love this chapter, you will love this topic as well. And as you already know, AAC is there for you all, as AAC is equal to CMA. AAC has come up with many more things for South Indian students. So make sure that you like it, you subscribe the channel if you haven't not. Also make sure that go in the description link and join the WhatsApp group, because this WhatsApp group is going to help you a lot, where we are going to come up with many more updates. Also, many videos are uploaded for you all. The strategy video as well as this lectures videos is also uploaded every week. Once it will be uploaded, so keep on watching the lectures and do show some love. And yeah, let's go. Not dependent on fact, and it is also called as behavioral science or abstract science. It is also called as behavioral science or abstract science. So make sure your first comes the MCQ. Economics is a dash science. So economics is nothing but it is a social science. Let's go. Let's move on to our main book of economics. Let's see for some more basics and then let's go to the economics wala part. Going forward, as you all know, economics is termed as economia, which is a Greek word, right? In 19th century, this topic you won't get anywhere. In 19th century, your economics was called as political economics. Political economy or economics, right? Where specifically, if I talk about economy is nothing but it is a system which gives you a platform to work and from same work it gives you earning. That is, it gives you an opportunity to earn money, right? And indirectly I can call this as economic activity, the activity which is done in return of money, where there is a consideration of money, it is called as economic activity. And the other side, the non-economic activity is nothing but which is made out of love and affection, which is made out of love and affection. So this is all about your economics basic. Moving forward, it is derived from your Greek word called as economia. It have two scales of economics which is given by Ragnar Finch. We are going to look forward, but I am telling you now, one is your micro, one is your macro. Both are derived from the Greek word. Both are derived from the Greek word, right? M with K, that is M-I-K-R-O-S, and micros, that is with K again, M-A-K-R-O-S, right? So these are derived from the Greek word called as micro and macros. And moving forward, micro is nothing but talking all about small units, and macros is nothing but talking about aggregate or large unit, right? I hope this is clear to you all. Let's move forward. Let's go forward. And yes, here we are. Next question can come for you all is all about subject matter. All about subject matter. So many people are in confusion. Many students say that there are 7 subject matter, there are 4, there are 5. No, you don't have to get confused. There are only 4 subject matter. If I say in short, it is called as PCDE, which means P for production, C for consumption, D for distribution, E for exchange. What do you mean by production? Production is nothing but converting your raw materials into finished goods. Like for example, there is a wood and you convert this into your furniture. I hope it is simple. Wood is your raw material and furniture is your finished goods, right? Next is your consumption. Consumption is nothing but to use, to consume. Distribute, what do? You distribute your goods and services in your market. And again there comes the exchange, where in return you give money. Where in return you give help. Right? I hope you got it and I hope it is clear to you all. Right? Let's go. Let's move forward. Here it is. Economics is a social science. It explains about the economic activities of man. Economic activities, in return you get money, right? The transaction, the things which are been done for money. Any activity which is related to earning of money and spending of money is called as economic activity. Almost all people are engaged in economic activities because they want to earn the money. The main economic problem is the transform society's resources into consumable commodity by using productive technology. It is a problem because human wants are unlimited and society's resources are limited. We have already seen this before. So the central task of economics is to decide how much of which commodity are to be produced. Going forward with the same topic over here, obviously, if talking about your choice making, there are 2 different ways which can face a problem or which can give a solution. One is your PPC, that is your production possibility curve, which will be seen later on, not now. And your next is your central problems of economy. Which means what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, right? How much you need to, what to produce. Obviously, you will produce such product which are in demand and which the customers have been demanding all the time. You will be producing that products which will give you a market edge and market demand. Next, how to produce. There are two techniques. One will be your labor intensive and your second will be your capital intensive. Whichever method does the cost minimization will be a solution of how to produce. And next is for whom to produce. All sectors of economy. Like for example, if the demand is for fans, you will produce fans. Also, if your demand is for AC, you will produce AC. Also, if your demand is for AC, you will produce AC, right? So, here the demanding things are there. Central economic problem, there are three economic problems: what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Let's go forward. Let's see again. Many more points we have discussed and I've already told you before as well. But yeah, let's see. Produce optimum satisfaction. The firms in the household are the basic economic entities in the country. Sorry, economy. The firms are production units and the household are consumption unit. Mark this as MCQ. This can be your MCQ part as well. This we have seen in the subject matter. These firms by different factors of production. Here your factors of production. L, CE. L for land. Next will be your labor. Next will be your capital. And next will be your entrepreneur. It is on you how you use it. It is on you how you use it, and plus you also get the rewards from them. From land you get rent, from labor you get wages, from capital you get interest, and from entrepreneur you get profit, right? So these are your factors of production. Sell different types of products. The main aim of these firms is to maximize the profit. The household, on the other hand, try to maximize the satisfaction from the consumption of the goods produced by the firm. Here are the subject matter. In economics, a want is something that is desired, but all desire are not economic wants. It is but obvious. Your every desire, your every wish cannot be your full complete wants. Right? It cannot be your demand. You know, the desires which are achievable and are recovered by purchasing power. Like for example, you wish that you want to clear your CMA foundation, but until and unless you don't study, how would you clear your CMA foundation? So for that you will have to study, but obvious, right? Our economics such want give rise to efforts and thereby economic activity. If one wants to go to moon, that cannot be constructed as economic wants, as it is not covered by purchasing power. Want is the satisfying point of economic activity. Wants leads to effort and effort leads to satisfaction. MCQ. Want leads to efforts and your effort leads to satisfaction. Going forward, next subject, 4 subject matter. How much? There are 4 subject matter. This can also come in your MCQ. Make sure you mark it. It is what? P, C, D. I have told you before only. Consumption, it is an act to use the goods or services to satisfy the human wants. Consumption is typically defined as final purchase by an individual that are not investment of some sort. In other words, when you buy food, clothes, airplane, tickets, a car, etc., that's consumption. Next, though consumption, the consumer decides the utility of the commodity. Yet we don't know what do you mean by utility. It will be seen in your second chapter, that is your theory of demand and supply. It will be seen over there. This utility was created by producer to production. If someone buys a house to live in, that should be defined as consumption. If they buy a house to rent out it to someone else, that would be defined as investment. If you are using it for yourself, then it is consumption. If you are using it, if you are consuming it, then it is consumption. But if you are doing it for someone else's purpose, like for example, here you are given that you have purchased a property and you are going to make a house over there, you construct a house over there, and you're going to stay over there, then it will be your consumption. But then if you are giving it for someone else, you're renting out for someone else, then it is not a consumption, it will be your investment. Hope it is clear to you all. Production, where comes production? There comes your 4 factors of production. Again, there comes your factors. Make sure this will be seen in your chapter number 3, that is theory of production and cost. Very important, very interesting. Plus also you can see the MCQs from here as well. Senior economics, I'll tell you 3 different types of MCQs are been asked. One will be a direct, I have told you before also. One will be a very direct MCQ, who is the father of economics, which we are going to see now in some times. What ones are unlimited, and what the very easy question. So here you can make sure that you get your 2 marks without any hesitation. Next, it will be a medium question where you know the answer, but you get confused at times looking after the options. It will be a 50-50 probability wala thing. And last is you're talking about, you know, all about your, what do we say? थोड़ा सा difficult question can come to you. Yes, so I've told you before also, the rewards are also been informed to you people. So this is also very important. Production involves the creation of goods and services by using resources. It is processed to change the raw materials into finished goods. Final and finished good, it is nothing but creation of utility. Next, exchange. When 2 individuals bring their product for trade purpose in the market, such act is called exchange. When trading is complete. In olden days there were barter system, but now obviously we have the money part over here considered. Distribution, it is done in 2 ways. See, means sharing of income among the factors of production. The total income, which is generally for selling of these goods and services in the market, must be distributed among the factors of production in the form of rent, wages, interest and profit. There are 2 different ways. One is your micro and second is your macro. Microeconomics is nothing but pricing of factors of production. It means it explains how the price, that is the rent per unit of land, is determined. In same way, how the price just a second, hold on. Yeah. Ricardian theory of rent, MCQ, modern theory of rent, different wages theories, interest theories, profit theories are discussed in micro distribution. Next is your macro, means sharing of total national income, because it is aggregate. Now we are talking about aggregate over here, that is total national and among the total factors of production. It means we will come to know whether the income is distributed properly or not among the people in the society. They added some other concepts to the different dimensions of economy. They are employment, income, planning and economic development, international trade. Going forward, the micro and macro part will be seen later on, so you don't worry about it, don't get confused in that. But then yes, going forward, as we have already told, economics is nothing but it is derived from the Greek word called as economia, which means household management. There are many more people who have given the definition of economics in a very easy way, in a very proper way. But as we have already seen, where come good things, there come bad things. So where come the definitions, there also come the criticisms of other people. So the very first definition is of wealth. The wealth definition is given by Adam Smith, who is your father of economics. It is given by Adam Smith, as well as J.B. Say. It is given by Adam Smith as well as J.B. Say, and they have given the definition of wealth. And yeah, I'll simplify it for you people, don't worry. Next is your welfare. It has been given by Alfred Marshall. See, from here only one question came, and we already saw, as I told you, I'll show you later on. Dash is the father of economics. Who is the father of economics? Adam Smith. Right? Going forward, just let me see over here also. No, it's not over here. Father of economics. Next is your scarcity given by Lionel Robbins. It is by Robbins. Lionel Robbins have given the definition, and next is your growth development, which has been given by sorry, Paul Samuelson. It is given by Paul Samuelson. Let's go with the very first definition, that is wealth. Almost all the classical economists follow the wealth definition. It is mostly associated with J.B. Say and Adam Smith. Adam Smith was called as the father of economics. Acha, every author have written some or the other book as well explaining all about economics with the year. So you have to make sure that year you have to remind first of all who have given the definition. Secondly, you have to remind the name of the book. Make sure that you keep in your mind. Third, the author or the economist. Next, you have to keep in mind the name of the book, in which year they have written, and the definition also. You don't have to learn the definition much, but then keep in your mind. So if you get your question, you will be able to answer it in a proper way. Clear? Let's go. The name of the book written by Adam Smith, An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of Wealth of Nation. He have written it into 1776. Adam Smith delinked the economy from political economy, and he explained it in a scientific manner. This can come in your MCQ. As I told you before, in 19th century, the economics was called as political economy, and the Adam Smith have delinked it from political economy. Right? I hope it is clear. I'll just explain you in a short way so that you can understand it. What happened? Adam Smith says all about wealth, right? In short, if I say wealth like money, right? So many people criticize them, saying that what about your welfare? Just a second. You just talk about your wealth. What about your welfare? Who will give importance to man? Why are you not giving importance to man and you're giving importance to money only? Like example, you're giving importance to wealth only. What they say is that wealth is of no use. Other people, Adam Smith have given the definitions, but other people are keeping on, criticizing them in every way. So what other people say is that wealth is of no use unless it satisfies human wants, unless it satisfies, right? Why human wants cannot be satisfied? Because you're not having resources now. So what you are having resources, but not as much as it is needed. So Adam Smith have given man a tag of economic man, right? And after this, what Alfred Marshall did is, Alfred Marshall told the followers of, this is all, the way I'm explaining, this will help you to keep the points in your mind, nothing else, right? So not in either ways, but make sure that you keep in your mind. Alfred Marshall, what Alfred Marshall did it, Alfred Marshall told all the followers of Adam Smith and everyone that what you do, you come in my team, you come in my definition, you be with me, I will give you the importance and the priority will be given to you, and later on your wealth will also be considered. Adam Smith is just talking about wealth, but here I will give you also the importance, because that is also important. The human importance is very important. Giving the importance to human is very important. Secondly, not only the importance to you, but also I'll give you the importance of wealth as well. So here you will be getting both of the things, right? So you can come and you can follow my definition. Plus also will that what Adam Smith gave the man as a tag, man was called as economic man, but here Adam Smith told that from economic man I'll shift you to the social man. I'll shift you to the social man. I'll shift you to the social man, right? Let's go. Let's see. Definition, what does JB say? Economics is a study of science of wealth. Both of them, so sorry. Both of them have given the definitions of wealth. If comes study, make sure you keep in your mind. Where comes study, there comes JB say. Where comes deals, it comes Adam Smith. Once again, I am telling you, where comes study? Study is a definition which is given by JB say. Just a shortcut to remind it. Study, there comes JB say. Where comes deal, there comes Adam Smith. Let's go. Adam Smith has explained the wealth, how wealth is produced, consumed, distributed, extend. Again, your subject matter. According to Adam Smith, man is an economic man. I've told you before also. Science is the study of wealth only. In short, for now, with example point of view, wealth is money. It can be a fixed asset as well, goodwill as well, knowledge as well. This definition deals with causes behind the creation of wealth. It only considers material wealth, the wealth which can be seen, that is tangible. Right? Here comes the criticism. There are many criticisms. According to critics, economics is a decimal science. That is, they have said that it is incomplete science. It is not a complete definition which you have given. It is completely incomplete. Right? It is of no use unless it satisfies human wants, as I've told you also before. And next is, it is not of much importance to man and his welfare. Who will give importance to us? Who will give importance to human? So looking after this, Alfred Marshall thought that let's do this. Let's go. This definition was given by Alfred Marshall. He was the father of, he was the follower of Adam Smith. He wrote a famous book named as Principle of Economics or Principle of Political Economics in 1870. Economics is a study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. Can come the question as well that which definition has given importance to humans, which definition have given importance to man. So it is nothing but Alfred Marshall's definition, that is definition of welfare. It examines that part of individual and social action which is mostly connected with attainment and the use of material requisites as well as human being, as well as of well-being. According to Alfred Marshall definition, economics is one side study of wealth, and on the other and more important, a side of study of man or welfare of the man. I hope it seems very easy to you people, right? According to the definition, economics is social science. The very first statement of this chapter, who have said? Alfred Marshall. According to the definition, goods are classified into two. One is material and one is immaterial. According to Alfred Marshall, economics is a normal science. Again, MCQ, these important points are very important because this can come for MCQ as well. The top priority is given to man or welfare, as I've told you before, and secondary is given to wealth, both. Marshall enhanced the status of man from economic man to social man. Going forward, criticize, according to Robbins, welfare is an incomplete definition. Obviously, many people will keep on, criticizing other people as well. So it is okay, but keep the criticism in your mind. Economic must be neutral between the ends. Marshall neglected some material means which do not promote human welfare, which is a good thing actually, because it is not meant for human. Like for example, cigarettes, it is not for humans. The alcohol products, it is not for humans. So those ones won't be considered. Only those material ones will be considered, or those material things which will be considered, which is good for humans, which is good for man, which is good for their welfare, because we are ever giving importance to them. But these goods are also produced, exchanged, so they also come under the subject of matter. Next is your scarcity. A famous book has been written by Lionel Robbins. Scarcity, the second name of the scarcity is choice making. So there can come a question that who have given the definition of choice making. So it is no one but Lionel Robbins, because scarcity is also known as choice making. Economics is a science, an essay on the nature and significance of economic science in 1932. Economics is a science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means, which have alternative uses. Main points, what are unlimited, we have seen before. Limited resources which have alternative uses, and it is called as problem of choice making. According to Robbins, science is an analytical science but not a positive science. Sorry, but not a social science. Turns into universal science. It is a positive science. We are going to look after later on. What do you mean by positive science? Neutral between the ends. Let's see the criticism. It is not universal. Robbins have said that it is universal, but many people are saying that it is not universal. This is a very big lie. Obviously, we have seen that it is a problem of choice making and it is a problem of every individual, every country, and every society. But obvious. But there can be exception according to this criticist. Not applicable to developed countries, not applicable to communist or dictatorship countries. It is not applicable to developing countries like India. It is an old wine in a new bottle, and it is also neglected to the dynamic concepts. Next is your growth definition by J.M. Keynes and Paul Samuelson. Two people have given the same definition, and I forgot to tell you one thing is that in the definition of wealth, you can see that two people have given the definitions over here also. If there comes study, there comes JBC, and where come deals, there comes your Adam Smith. By chance it happens that the examiner have given the question that economics is a science which deals with wealth, and in option you are not able to see Adam Smith. Option number 1 will be JBC, option number 2 will be Paul Samuelson, option number 3 will be Robbins, option number 4 will be Alfred Marshall. So we cannot see Adam Smith over here, but we can see the option as JBC. Many less chances are there that this the question will be asked like this, but then yes. If by chance it is asked, then it is your duty that you need to mark JBC, right? Don't leave and come that the question is wrong. Mark as JBC, no worries. Next is your Adam Smith and Paul Samuelson. So what Paul Samuelson did now? So sorry. He merged the definition of Robbins and Alfred Marshall. That is scarcity plus welfare. He merged both the definitions, and then he made sure that he would do a definition named as growth economics in introductory analysis in 1948. He gave a due definition to the economy. What did he say is that economics is a study of how men in society choose, with or without any use of money, to employ the scarce productive resources that would have alternative uses to produce various commodities over for distributing them for consumption now or in future among the various persons. Here can come the question that the consumption has been done for a present purpose or for future purpose as well. So consumption can be done for future purpose as well. Right, and the groups in the society. It analyzes the costs and benefits of improving patterns or resources. The definition is given by Paul Samuelson. Main definition here you don't have the criticism, because obviously it is the merged definition first of all, and many more reasons are there behind, but yeah, it is not in your study module, so let's not go for that. Like the scarcity definition, it accepts unlimited wants and limited resources which have alternative uses. According to Samuelson, the problem of choice making of resources not only confined to present but also to the future. I've told you this question, MCQ. He also adopted a dynamic approach to study of economics, considering economic growth as an integral part of the economics. This definition includes Marshall welfare definitions and Robbins scarcity definition. Right, clear? I hope this is clear to you people. Let's go forward. This we will see later on. Micro and macroeconomics part we'll see later on, not now. Let's go forward with the next topic. Is economics and arts or science? Here comes the question, right? So let's see. Here will be your point of different. The very first thing which we are going to talk is all about science. Is science equal to economics? We are going to talk about this. Is science equal to economics? Is science equal to economics? Plus also over here, now what do you mean by science? Science is nothing but it is a systematic body of knowledge which tell all about fact. It is all about what fact? It is all about what facts? It is all about facts, right? So the very first point of difference we'll be looking for economics and sciences. causes and effect relationship, which means in science, right? Okay, so like for example, uh, there was a high temperature, and because of that the ice melted, right? There was high temperature, because of high temperature the ice melted. So this is your cause and this will be your effect. Because of high temperature your ice melted. Next, going forward, and if in economics, if I say which we are going to see in your second chapter, but yeah, this is a normal thing which you can understand. If the price of any product rises,
Hello, dear C.
if the price of any product rises, the demand for that product will be decreased, and if the price is decreased, the demand for that particular product will increase, right? I hope this is second. So this is causes and effect relationship. In this event we can say that your economics is equal to your science. Your economics is equal to your science. Going forward with the next topic. Next topic is all about your tools or apparatus which will be used for measuring things, like for example, in science, what do you use as a tool? You must have gone in the laboratory, you have seen the beaker or the test tubes and everything. Like for example, right, the weighing machine has also been considered over here. The weighing machine has also been considered over here. Same if I talk in economics, what are the tools that can be used? You can use your elasticity, will be seen later on. Again, I'm telling you, don't worry about it if you are not getting to that points. It is okay. In short, I'll tell you. What do you mean by elasticity? Elasticity is nothing but, see, if the price is increasing, the demand will be decreased, right? But by how much the demand will be decreased will be measured through elasticity, right? Will be measured through elasticity. So this is all about elasticity. Next is your barometer as well, from where you can measure your index number. Index number is been measured by barometer. So like this is the example. In this condition also we can say here also the tools are being used, here also the tools are being used. So it is what here in second case also we can say that your economics is equal to science. Next, the tools are used for measuring. Here we can measure your weight, your height, your speed, your temperature and everything, right? Economics, can you measure things? Yes, you can measure your price, you can measure your index number, you can measure your national income through all the tools which we can use in the economics. So over here also measuring can be done, and in economics also measuring has been done. The point of difference has been what we can say, matched both of the way. So yes, in this also we can say that your economics is equal to your science. Your fourth point, if I say forecasting, what do you forecast in science? You forecast your weather in science. You forecast your weather. You forecast your weather. And what do you forecast over here? What do you forecast over here? Future expectations of prices. Future expectations of prices will be forecast. Future expectations of prices will be forecast, right? Right. So I hope over here also you can say that your science is equal to your economics. And the very last point, talking about the human behavior. Can you measure or can you test or can you predict the human behavior in science? No. And in economics, economics is all about human behavior only. So yes, this both thing is not been matched. The point of difference, that is your human behavior, has not been matched. So therefore, economics is equal to science. But not complete science. or you can say it is a imperfect science or incomplete science. But yes, it is not a perfect science. It is a science, but not a perfect science. It is a science, but not a perfect science. I hope you got this. And here we conclude that economics is equal to science. Now, what about arts? Arts is nothing, but it is talking about what? The things which we have learned theoretically, over here we need to apply practically. Arts is what? Your many people are artists, which keeps on practicing and which makes them perfect at times, right? So they do it completely practically. They do it completely practically by using their skills, right? If I talk about economics, in economics there are many economists. There are many economists who uses their theory first for understanding purpose and then for using it practically as well, right? I hope you got it. And here also we can conclude that your economics is your economics is equal to your arts. Here also we can conclude that your economics is equal to your arts. I hope this is clear to you all. I hope. Let's go over here. A term science implies a systematic body of knowledge which traces the relationship between causes and effect, systematic certain facts, systematic collection and classification, analytics of fact, making generalization on the basis of relevant facts and formulating laws or theories, thereby subjecting in the theories to the test of real world observation, and like the subject physics, chemistry, botany and economics also satisfy the above four characters, and economics is regards to science. But economics is not a perfect science. Your MCQ, mark it as MCQ. Keynes defined art as a system, a set of rules for the attainment of a given end. The object of art is to formulate rules to be used for formulation of policies. Next, what is the difference between, if I say science is theoretical, arts is practical? Sciences teaches how to know, arts is to do, to apply it properly. Economics is in science is methodology and arts is application. Hence, economics is considered both science as well as arts, but not a perfect science, not a perfect science, not a perfect science. I hope it is clear to you. Going forward, the next point is all about is economics positive science or normative science. So let's see the next topic over here. One will be your positive science, next will be your normative science. What do you mean by positive science? Positive science is nothing but it is talking all about facts. Positive science is nothing but it is talking all about facts, right? And normative is nothing but it is giving suggestion. Like for example, if you are not well, you know the fact that you need to take the medicines or you need to go to doctor. I hope that you are aware of it. So it is a fact. You have to go. You have no other options. But then going to the doctor, there you will get a suggestion. Either take injection or you can go with only medicines. It depends completely on your choice. I am giving you the suggestion. Do whatever you can do as per your choice, right? So positive science is all about facts and normative science is all about giving suggestion. Next, positive science is also called as descriptive science, as it is stating all about facts, and normative science is stating all about prescriptive science. Going forward, it can so happen that examiner will give you a question that the statement will be given and they will tell you that inform, let us know or tell that which sciences it is all about. Is it a normative science or it is a positive science? How can you recognize it, right? So you can recognize it by two words, that is what is or what are. if you find this words, it is stating all about fact. So if you find this word, it will mean that it is talking all about what? It is talking all about positive science. There comes a next word, that is if you ought to do, ought to do or not to do. You're also not. If you ought to do, it is all about giving suggestion. It is all about giving suggestion. So next point, as it is stating all about facts, as it is stating all about fact, that is if you increase the price, your demand will be decreased automatically. That is a fact. If you decrease your price, your demand will be increasing. Again a fact, again a fact. So it is all about talk, it is talking all about facts, right? It is all talking about facts. So it is your thing, whatever you want, you can decide it and you can think it down, right? Next, as it is a fact based, no value judgment is passed, and as it is all about suggestion, value judgment is passed. Value judgment is passed. So you can write this difference, and it will make you easier to understand the topic as well and remind in the exam as well. Okay, so I hope you're done with this. Let's go. Economics as a positive science, it explains what is but not what ought to be. It explains about the things as they are, again stating fact. It does not deal with value judgment, and according to Leonard Robbins, economics is a positive science. Going forward for normative science, explain what ought to be. So sorry, and not what ought to be. It does relate to the value judgment. It deals with good and bad, or right or wrong, that is giving suggestion. See, if you do this, if you won't study, then obviously you will get less marks. I'm giving you a suggestion. What is right and what is not right, right? According to Alfred Marshall, it is in normative science. Hence, economics is considered as both positive and normative science. Going forward about deductive and inductive. Deductive is also called, here also you can get the MCQs. It is called as prior method, abstract method, and analytical method, stating many reasons over here and then going to the conclusion that why these reasons occurred is called as deductive method. You have many reasons, right? But then you come up to a conclusion, you end up with a conclusion, and because of this conclusion we have faced all these repercussions or all the reasons and everything. So it is nothing but from general things to your particular conclusion. It is of going from general things to your particular conclusion. It is of going from general things to particular conclusion, right? I hope it is clear. The laws in theory, and also it is completely based on assumptions. Not sure that is it going to happen or not. We are not sure that is it going to really conclude like this or not, but it is completely assumption. Like for example, today my day was not good, so tomorrow also it won't go good because of some reasons. It is not sure, it is not true, it is not fact. It can so happen that the day went very well tomorrow. It can so happen that many more reasons are there. So it is completely on the assumption basis, right? So yes, fundamental assumption. In this method, the logic proceeds from general to particular. This is your MCQ. Mark this as your MCQ. For example, law of DMU, law of equimarginal utility, law of consumer surplus, etc. These all laws will be seen in your chapter number 2, that is your theory of demand and supply. Going forward, classical economists follow deductive method. Classical economists follow deductive method. Next is your inductive. It is all about the past data or statistical data, which is stating about the facts, which is stating about the fact. Like for example, you didn't clear your CMA foundation. So this is a statement, this is a fact. But because of what? Because of what reasons you were not able to clear your CMA foundation? You didn't studied. If you studied but you were not consistent, or you didn't do it daily, or you didn't give your test, you didn't do the MCQs and everything. So it is stating all about facts, right? And the laws proceed from, the logic proceed from particular to general. See, it is on the basis of statistics or fact based. For example, law of variable, law of returns to scale, population theory. These both theory will be seen in your chapter number 3. Population theory is right now not made, you can say, available in your module. Next, modern economists follow inductive method. And seems very interesting. The chapter is very interesting, trust me. If there comes, like you can say, if there comes 1 to 2 questions, very easily you will be able to solve this questions, and very easily you will be able to mark this as well, and very easily it will be possible for you to give the answers as well, right? So let's go. Next is your central problem of all economies. We have already discussed what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. So what you can do is that you can read the complete part of this particular topic. You can read it, and then we can go forward with the same. Next, all about the utility, wealth, and production. Listen carefully. This will be seen in your chapter 2. Only I'm talking about utility. I am talking about your, just a second, hold on. Over here, if you see, they've only explained all about utility, but they haven't given any detailed description all about utility. So this utility will be given to you in your, this utility will be given to you, or will be taken to you for you in your chapter number 2, where we are going to discuss all about the consumer behavior and all. Right? I hope it is easy for you people. Right? So let's see the wealth, the production, and everything, the PPC curve. This everything will be seen in your next lecture and your next thing, where we are going to complete your MCQs as well. So make sure whatever we have done in this chapter, you complete it very carefully. You watch the lectures completely very carefully. You make sure that you read it in a very good way, and we will be done with this topic as well in the next chapter with the MCQs. So see you all. Bye bye. Take care. Lots of love. Keep studying. Lots of love.